Welcome back, participants, for this last session. Am I audible, participants?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So I would like to just brief about the waste management technologies going on in my laboratory at Anna University, Tiruchirappalli. After which we can have the final session, that is the closing session, where we have one test. We'll be giving you some questions, and also we can fill the feedback form in the Atal website. So all these things we can. Pardon?
Hello.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We shall continue. So I would like to thank all the participants for your patience hearing for all these days. This will be the last session, and I shall be briefly explaining you, not elaborate results. The technologies which we have adopted in wastewater treatment as well as in waste plastics management. So before going for the technical part of the presentation, so I would like to say a few words about our institute. For those from North India, there is this institute has been established by Bharathidasan University in the year 1999. So we have it is established in the year 1999. Now it is in the name of University College of Engineering, Anna University. So earlier, from 2007 to 2012 onwards, it served as a separate university, having affiliation powers to around 300 colleges in and around the Tiruchirappalli district. So it was served as a separate university, and during that time, we developed the institute to a great extent. So we have more than 4 to 5 big buildings, and which sprawls over overall area of 354 acres. We have 15 departments offering BTech and BE courses, all in all disciplines almost. And we also have MTech, MS and ME programs, all are accredited by AICTE. And also PhD programs, which are under the control of Anna University, Chennai. And there are around 5,000 students studying in this campus, and 700 teaching and non-teaching faculties, including the non-permanent faculties are working here in our campus. So it's a big campus which is completely under the control of state government, Anna University, Chennai. So with this introduction, I go into the technical side of our presentation. See, we have to understand why we need to need this faculty development program. What is the need means when you see the crisis or the problems which are faced by the humanity around throughout the world, is that in #1 position energy is there, and the good quality water is in the second biggest problem faced by the globe, or faced by this world, followed by food, environment, poverty, terrorism and war, disease, education, democracy and population. Maybe this data has been taken 1 year back. Now it would have a little bit changed, but the priority may be changing. But water is one of the water and environment are very important aspects or problems which are faced by the human beings. So we need to have a proper solution, and develop technologies so as to solve all these problems. So this faculty development program has been planned to throw light on what are the latest technologies available in waste management technologies. So out of the different technologies available, I'm going to talk today about two different technologies called as foam separation, which comes under the broad name of foam flotation, as well as biosofty foam separation technologies for waste water treatment. If time permits, we are also dealing with the nano side of the wastewater treatment. Also, we have a biotechnological part of the plastic waste management. So, 4 different aspects of waste management are dealing in our laboratory. Our laboratory is sponsored by Department of Science and Technology, Young Scientist Fast Track Scheme. So, with the equipments available with us, we are carrying out these research works. So, first I would like to say a few introduction about foam separation, followed by biosofty foam separation, which is just an extension or advancement of the foam separation technique, which can be very well successfully utilized for any wastewater containing phenolic compounds or even metals, heavy metals, etc. Okay, am I audible, participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am, it is audible.
Okay. So, I'd like to give some introduction about what is meant by foam separation. From the name itself, you can understand that foam plays a major role in the treatment, in the treatment part. Foam separation, it is a surface adsorption phenomena, meaning the pollutant gets adsorbed onto the surface of the foam. So, as you think, foam is not in the form of a sphere. I'll just show the shape of the foam, which plays a major role in the adsorption of heavy metals or any other pollutants from the wastewater. Solutes are the harmful chemicals which are to be removed or adsorbed onto the foam surface, and this is what is the technology behind the foam separation. So this technique is useful for separation and concentration of heat sensitive and chemically unstable materials also, like proteins, enzymes, dyes, metal ions. So this technology is very, very old, which has been applied mainly in the separation of ores from minerals and ores, called as froth flotation technique, which is mainly studied by the mining engineering people. So that technology is now extended for the removal of pollutants from industries. So this is not a new technology, but the application has been widened to water treatment nowadays. So this is there are a lot of advantages of this foam separation technique. The young participants who want to work in water treatment can try this technology because of several advantages present in this technique. The equipment construction is very, very simple. There are no moving equipments present in this there are no moving parts present in this equipment, so there are no friction, and the maintenance and cost is very, very less. I'll show you the setup which is present in our laboratory, and it can be used to treat very heat sensitive materials and also handle dilute solutions. So these are some of the advantages of this technique. There are several advantages of foam. Foam has got interfacial tension. We heard that because of surface tension, the foam assumes the shape that plays a major role in adsorption. So this is what is a simple diagram which shows how the foam separation operation works. See, it shows the simple batch operation where the liquid which is to be treated, the wastewater which is to be treated, is taken in the in a beaker, or if it is a lab scale setup. When we allow and add some surfactants, when we allow air or nitrogen into the solution, the bubbles gets formed, and the foam or bubbles, when it rises through the liquid from bottom to top, it carries away the heavy metals and harmful chemicals from the effluent. That is a simple technique. So this, though the process looks simple, its application is very wide. See, we have to analyze the foam structure before going into the experimental part, because this foam structure plays a major role in the treatment. See, when we see the structure of foam, when you see from the naked eye, it looks like a spear, but actually foam is not a spear. Foam looks like a pentagonal dodecahedral structure, has got the pentagonal dodecahedral structure. See, foam always clubs as three different as three sizes, or four bubbles joined together, and we get different shapes of the foam. See, when you see from the naked eye, you may say that the foam is of a spherical shape, but it is not. Because of this coagulation of three different bubbles, we get this structure, this triangle structure, plateau border structure, or when four different bubbles forms, we get a stable configuration. So because of this configuration, we get good adsorption properties. We need to study the foam structure also, because of, we have attempted some modeling part also, wherein we have done mass balance calculations and mass balance and framed differential equations. Mathematical modeling also have been tried in our project. So we have to have knowledge about the foam structure also. So this is the foam pentagonal dodecahedral structure. It's not a sphere. This structure is very important. This structure plays a role in the adsorption of heavy metals and harmful chemicals from the wastewater. So I hope the participants are getting some knowledge about the foam separation technique. Those who want to work on foam flotation or foam separation can work on any of these sub classifications also. So this is the major classification is foam separation. Adsorptive foam separation methods are majorly classified into foam separation and non-foaming adsorptive bubble separation methods. Under this foam separation, there are sub-classifications like wort flotation. Depending upon the applications we need, we can choose different technologies. So like micro flotation, macro flotation, precipitate flotation, ion flotation, adsorbing colloid flotation, etc. So foam fractionation is a technology we have applied for our metal ions removal. Okay, so these are major classifications. We can work on anything, any area depending upon our requirement. So this gives the definition. These slides gives the next two slides will give the definitions of different technologies available. Say for example, if you take wort flotation, we know that it is useful for separation of gang of particles from the ore. Minerals can be selectively adsorbed using the wort flotation process. Macro flotation is useful for the removal of macroscopic particles, and micro flotation is for the removal of microorganisms or colloids. So similarly, ion flotation is for the removal of surface inactive ions through the use of surfactants, and molecular flotation is for the removal of surface inactive molecules. The precipitate flotation, in which the precipitate is removed and the precipitating agent is other than the surfactant. Adsorbing colloid flotation is useful for the removal of colloidal particles. So, so these are some definitions of the different flotation technologies available. So, surfactant or the bubble forming material is a very important, is very important and also plays a major role in the success of the flotation process. The majorly used surfactants are sodium lauryl sulfate and SPAN 80. SPAN 80, the chemical name of SPAN 80 is sorbitan monovolate. So these two are the very successful surfactants which are used in a flotation process. Just a minute, I'll just. Okay. So these are the surfactants, successful surfactants, which can be applied for the removal of when harmful chemicals using flotation process. See, this slide shows the batch experimental setup available in our laboratory, which we have designed for carrying out the batch experiments. We tried initially with the foam separation alone.
Madam, full screen, please.
Yeah, sure. Is it okay, sir?
Yes. Okay.
So this is the batch biosorptive batch foam separation column available in our laboratory, and the experimental setup is also given here. See, a simple compressor through which we can measure the flow rate, and through which the air is passed. Air, even nitrogen cylinder can be connected to here. This, and there is a small glass or a polymeric column in which the liquid to be treated or effluent to be treated is taken, and when we pass the air slowly into this, we should have added some little amount of surfactant into the liquid earlier before starting the experiment. So once the air is injected, the foam starts to form, and when it rises from the bottom of the to the top, it carries the pollutants like phenolic compounds or metals or any other harmful chemicals present in the solution along with it on its surface, and it gets collected gradually. When it travels upwards, the carried away liquid gets drained back again, and we get the dry foam at the top. So we can collect the dry foam in a beaker, and we can once we keep it in the table for 1 hour, it gets collapsed, and the concentrated liquid is liquid or the pollutant gets collected on the top. It is called as fomate. This part is called as fomate, and left over with the clean liquid. I shall show the next the photographs where the foam is rising. See here at the bottom of the column, the pollutant liquid is taken, and the compressor is through the compressor the air is passed, and the foam gets raised here and collected at the top of the column. And these are the dimensions of the foam separation column we used in our study. Nearly 2 centimeters of diameter. Height we can fix according to our need. For sparging the air, we have made a filter cloth wound sponge attached to the nozzle, so that uniform distribution of air takes place. Distribution of air also is very important factor for improving the efficiency of the separation. So this assembly is to be kept at the bottom of the column, so that a uniform distribution of air happens, and the air carries away the metal ions. Okay. So for continuous column operation, we have also designed a continuous foam separation column, for which the photograph I will show you. This is of 2,000 millimeter height, and 160 centimeter diameter is used. Again, the design of sparger is very important, because once the sparger design is failed, we may not get the proper size of the bubbles, and also it may get collapsed during its travel from bottom to top. So sparger design is very, very important, and we have to take proper care in designing the spargers. So depending upon the bubble size requirement, we can have the different types of spargers. So for our project purpose, we selected a sparger with a pore size of 15 to 40 microns. So this is the experimental setup of a continuous foam column, where the air is passed through the flow meter, and it passes through the humidifier, so that the unwanted impurities present in the air are all getting removed. And from the bottom of the column, the air is sparged. We have a sparger here. Through this sparger, we can have the air to be circulated into the column. So we can change the sparger size depending upon the requirement, so that we get different bubble size diameters. And the foam, when it travels from bottom to top, it carries both the liquid as well as the pollutants with it. Pollutants may be metal ions, heavy metal ions, or phenolic compounds, or any other harmful chemicals like particulate matters or anything. So once it travels from bottom to top, it carries away both, and we have filled water only up to some 30% of the column. Above this column, it is empty. So when it travels through the empty part of the column, it drains back all the liquid. So only the dry foam gets carried away at the top, and there is a collecting vessel through which we can collect all the foam. And once we keep it for 1 or 2 hours, it gets collapsed, and we get the concentrated pollutant at the top, and the clean liquid can be collected at the bottom, from the bottom. So this here, since it is a continuous operation, we have to feed the pollutant continuously, wastewater continuously through this feed inlet, and the outlet, the clean liquid is collected from the bottom. See, we have to maintain that air flow rate to be very, very minimum, so that the clear separation, the clear liquid gets collected at the top, and the feed gets collected at the feed goes at the top. Okay. So this is the setup of our continuous foam separation column. See, this is the bottom of the column. Here, from the compressor, the air is circulated through the sparger, and we also give input to the column of the liquid effluent. The foam gets collected from the top, and we can collect the foam from the dry foam from this part. I hope the participants can understand the experimental setup. So this is what is the experimental setup and about the foam separation operations. Now, what are the applications of this foam separation operation? Any chromium or electroplating industries which let out heavy metals can be very well apply this technology for removal of heavy metals. Say for example, even paper mills which use chromium chemicals can also, lead or other chemicals can also utilize this technology for successfully for the removal of the harmful chemicals. And many conventional methods are effective. Many conventional methods are effective, but there are some disadvantages. They produce large amount of sludge. See, that is one of the biggest advantage of this process. We get very little sludge which is getting collected at the top of the column, which needs further treatment. So a large quantity, say for example 1000 liters, is converted into some 5 liters. So that is the reduction in the concentration, reduction in the quantity of sludge is happening here. That is the biggest advantage of this process. So again, this foam separation is can be applied to the removal of metal ions, and also for the removal of metals ions like copper, zinc, and chromium. Copper and zinc are the sources of electroplating industries. Chromium is the source of tannery industry. Say we took all these 2 types of effluents, and we successfully utilized this technology for the removal of these chemicals. So we also studied the different parameters which affect the process. Say for example, flow rate, liquid pool height, feed concentration, surfactant concentration, pH of the feed, and foam height. For continuous operation, there is one extra parameter which has to be measured, which has to be controlled. Say that is nothing but the feed flow rate. So these are some of the parameters, effect of these parameters we have experimented for carrying out the for carrying out the operation. So the effluents which we took from chrome tanning industry, Tiruchirappalli has got a lot of tannery industries. So we have collected effluent from nearby area itself, nearby tannery industry, which has got chromium concentration of around 3000 ppm, whose odor is also very high, and the color is very dark brown, and the pH, see, the pH is very, very low. So so considering all these points, it has to be, the experiments has to be carried out. The real effluent characteristics are given of this form, after treatment, after pre-treatment, that means it is treatment is nothing but filtration and settling. Just a minute. Okay, after pre-treatment and settling, the effluent concentration changes to the pH of 3.5, chromium concentration 2500, and the odor again is high. With the dark brown color, it was taken for foam separation operation. Similarly, we have collected the electroplating effluent from which contains copper and zinc from an electroplating industry from Madurai.
Madam, someone is talking.
Yes, just a minute. I'm just trying to mute him. Okay, I think I've muted him. Okay, so these are the effluents we have used for our studies. I don't want to go into the results of results of our study. So with the introduction part, if the further clarification is needed, if anybody want to work on it, we can have a further discussions. So results shows that we used sodium lauryl sulfate and span 80 as successful surfactants for the removal of the metallic compounds, metals are present in the effluent, and we controlled the airflow rate, liquid full height, feed concentration, and surfactant concentration, and also pH has to be adjusted. Since the effluent, actual effluent has got very low pH, it has to be adjusted to 6, and the foam height was around 75 centimeters. So these are the results we got. We got all these optimization studies using the statistical optimization methods. And once we optimized all these parameters, we applied it for the continuous column studies also. Initially, we did experiments in batch column and extended for continuous column operations. So the maximum enrichment ratio was around 3.7 for ternary effluent, and we were able to apply. We were able to get only a little lesser amount of efficiency for ternary effluent because of the contamination of the effluent and interference by the skins and the proteins present in the ternary effluent. So that has to be filtered. Pre-treatment has to be taken out before going for this foam separation operation. So I close this foam separation operation with this introduction. I say that we have completed the lab scale study, continuous column study, and also we have done some mathematical modeling. So our technology readiness level for this project is in TRL3. I hope most of the participants can appreciate about have some idea about technology readiness level, because the funding agency is now looking for the projects which are at least in the level of 2 or 3. Only the SERB project is asking for the basic studies, whereas most of the projects from DST, DBT, and other funding agencies ask for the projects with the technology readiness level at least 3 or 4. So this technology, which is in the level of 3, that is proof of concept demonstrated analytically and experimentally, and we have successfully applied this technology for the removal of the metal ions as well as the phenolic compounds, and we have also published our paper. So the level of the technology readiness level is 3, and so we have based upon our experience, we have now started to apply for the projects which has to go for pilot scale studies and for technology commercialization with the collaboration of industries. So, okay. And we have also done some mathematical modeling. The chemical engineering people or engineering people who are here can appreciate the concepts. I told you about the bubbles. Bubbles have the same size and shape. It's not there. Actually, bubbles have different sizes and different shapes. As we assume that the bubbles have a spherical shape, it is not actually the bubbles shape. Once we observe the bubbles through the microscope, they have the pentagonal dodecahedral structure, which are surrounded by films and plateau borders. So these are helpful for the mathematical modeling. The structure of the foam is very much important to analyze, to do mathematical modeling for framing differential equations. So we have assumed, we have made all these assumptions before going for the mathematical calculations. Each bubble having the dodecahedral structure. But we said that earlier, when 3 bubbles club together, we get a one shape, and when 4 bubbles club together, we get different shape. So all those inequalities are neglected. We assume that all the bubbles to have a uniform shape and structure, and the coalescence of bubbles is ignored. So these are some of the major assumptions made in the derivations, which makes the some error, some difference in experimental value and the mathematical modeling. So we have to put a material balance equation for the film and material balance equation for the plateau border. Plateau border is nothing but the films which are present. The corners of the foam is called as the plateau borders, and we have to do the thickness of the film has to be calculated, and plateau border area is to be then calculated based upon the thickness of the film. We used a tensiometer for finding out the thickness of the film thickness of the foam. So finally, we have to calculate the liquid holdup and enrichment ratio. So these are some of the equations we used for our mathematical modeling, where and we have also assumed the bubbles to have the volume 4/3 pi r cube. The number of films per bubble is 6. So all such factors we assumed, and we got the enrichment ratio. Enrichment ratio is given by this equation. And the difference between the actual value, that is the experimental value, and the model value is given here. See, for the airflow rate, for different airflow rates, the difference is around the difference between the model value and the experimental value is around 30%. That happened because of the assumptions, drastic assumptions made. When we eliminate all such assumptions, I hope we may get better equations, and the results will become similar. So further study has to be made. In those who are strong in mathematics can go further into the subject. So with this, I close the foam separation part of the treatment. Next, to the extension of advanced process of the foam separation is the biosafety foam separation technology, which gains much importance in bioseparations field. So we have successfully applied the biosafety flotation or biosafety foam separation technology for the removal of metal ions as well as for proteins. So those some people who are working on protein separations in can make use of this technology very successfully.
Ma'am, one clarification, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you said you'll be using, you can use nitrogen also for to cool prevent.
Yes, yes.
Will it not, will it not decrease the temperature, ma'am?
Nitrogen, maybe because it is used as a refrigerant. You are saying like
that? Yes, ma'am. So whenever we use pure nitrogen, as such, the temperature reduces. And in another slide, you have said that the operating variables, and in those operating variables, temperature is not considered, ma'am.
Yeah, because temperature doesn't much affect the process.
Matter, doesn't matter here. But only when the nitrogen is used, the temperature might cool down.
Will
it affect the efficiency?
In that case, Vignesh, the thing is that only for certain situations we use nitrogen. For those materials which decompose by the presence of oxygen, we have to go for the other technique. Nitrogen has to be purged. Otherwise, air is cheap and cheap material for producing the
Fine, fine.
fine.
So the composition of air is also is a prior important, right, ma'am?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Straight
So,
away we can like just with a filter we can straight away take the air from the atmosphere. So
okay.
for usual operations, but only for extremely different, I mean, odd cases we use nitrogen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the advanced, I mean, the extended technique of foam separation is the biosorptive foam separation technique. So there is only one, as far as I know, there is only very few people who are working on this biosorptive flotation technology called as Zouboulis and Mattis from Greece. After them, after Zouboulis, we started this work. Many people have worked on the foams flotation or foam separation process, but this biosorptive foam flotation process, nobody has worked except this Zouboulis, who himself has contacted us and collected all our publications. So we are proud to say that this technology is very appreciated, an emerging one. So biosorptive foam separation, we have clubbed two different technologies called as biosorption followed by flotation. So I would like to say a few points about biosorptive foam separation technology. Removal efficiency increases by subsequent stages of biosorption and flotation. See, through flotation, we were able to achieve only some 70 to 80% removal. So we thought to have 100% removal, we clubbed this biosorption and flotation technology. At present, only Zouboulis and Mattis are the people from Aristotle University, Greece, have worked successfully upon this technology. And after them, we tried it. So because of these advantages, we have applied our technology for the removal of phenolic compounds. Since our department is the petrochemical department, the phenols are the petrochemicals. We applied this, which pollutes the atmosphere. So we tried to remove phenolic compounds from the industrial effluents. So this is the steps involved in the batch biosorption process, biosorptive flotation process. Initially, we to carry out the biosorption process, and after that, it is followed by treatment of microbes and followed by the flotation technology. So this is these are the bacterial cultures or the microbial cultures we used. Both bacteria, fungi, and yeast we used microbial biosorption. So in the bacteria, we tried with Micrococcus lylae, Pseudomonas putida, and Bacillus cereus, and we tried to remove the different phenolic compounds from the effluent. After this biosorption process, we used surfactant in foam separation, and we got the concentrated overflow and the treated effluent at the bottom of the column. So these are some of the objectives. We initially carried out all the experiments in batch biosorptive foam separation techniques, followed by continuous foam separation process. And we tried to remove the phenolic compounds like phenol, 4-chlorophenol, 2,4-dichlorophenol, cresols, and the paper mill effluent using the different microbes which are mentioned here. We have also done some biosorption kinetics, mathematical modeling, and isotherm studies. So this is our DST laboratory, which has the minimum, it is not a big laboratory having all sophisticated instruments, minimum equipments which are available, which are required for carrying out the experiments are all been developed for the past 10 to 15 years. Since 2000 from the year 2000, I am working there. Slowly, this laboratory has been developed. All the basic equipments required for carrying out the experiments are there. So we, apart from that, our institute has the centralized instrumentation facility, and we have a center of excellence where we have all the analytical instruments available with us, like SEM, TEM, and we also got a TechCube funding through which we have purchased a lot of equipments for our institute. Participants can always come and you make use of them. So any PhD people can make use of our facilities available. So this is a small experimental setup, which a diagram which shows the Biosafety flotation process. I have already shown this diagram. The only one part which is added here is this is incubation shaker, in which the biosorption part is biosorption part is carried out, followed by the foam separation part. So we have clubbed the biosorption process with that of the foam separation technique. So this is the combined setup, hybrid setup of the flotation with the biosorption process. So that is the difference between the flotation and the Biosafety flotation process. So variables are optimized are pH. Already some variables are given in foam separation part. Apart from that, for the biosorption part, these variables can also be optimized. For foam separation part, I've already given. So these are the photographs which shows the Micrococcus lylae isolated from petroleum transporting pipelines. So these are the photographs which shows the biosorbents. This is the simple shaker, big shaker available, economical shaker available in our department. So this is the UV spectrophotometer available, which can be utilized for the phenolic compounds removal. So this photograph shows the foam being collected at the top of the column, which when we keep it for or just heat it for some time, for mildly, the foam gets collapsed and we get the treated the concentrated effluent at the top, and the treated effluent is present in the column itself. See the phenolics with the biomass which we have collected at the top of the column. See, this is the treated effluent. This photograph shows the beakers containing the treated effluent and the biomass. So these are the biosorption isotherm models. These 10 isotherm models we have selected for our studies. And this is the photograph of the continuous biosafety foam column, which we have designed and fabricated in our department. So here I present the results of this CTAB surfactant used for the abstraction of phenol using the Micrococcus lylae. These are some of the results. I think I don't want to explain more about this. If people, any people who are interested to work more on this can, can go through it. So for the analytical part, we have used the FTIR studies to confirm that whether phenolic compounds or metal ions have been removed, have been adsorbed onto the foam. So we got the results that that the phenolic compounds have been very nicely adsorbed onto the foam surface. This CTAB potential studies also we have done to find out the electrostatic interaction between the foam and the phenolic compounds. And these are the results we got for the optimum conditions. So phenolic concentrations up to 500 ppm can be utilized. The time required is for carrying out the experiments are 2 days. And the optimum pH is 7. So these are the CTAB dosage. CTAB is nothing but the surfactant, cetyl triammonium bromide. That dosage is 0.3%. This work has been published in Soil, Clean Soil, Air and Water. So these are our characteristics for FTIR report, and same images which shows that the difference between the fresh biosorbent and the biosorbent after the carrying the phenolic compounds. So again, we carried out the mathematical modeling using mass balance technologies, and we need a software. Either we used at that time before 5 years, we used C++ as a software. Now, MATLAB and any other softwares can be utilized for mathematical modeling. So these are the conclusions. We can very successfully apply this our phenolic compounds removal as well as the metal ions removal for the by using this Biosofty foam separation technique. So this study can be further extended by using the nano component also. So Pseudomonas argivosa is can be utilized for the synthesis of silver nanoparticles, which can further be utilized for the treatment. So this is just initiated work we initiated. Later on we left it. So this was also giving a good result. Those anybody interested can work on it. So these are some of our publications out of this DST sponsored research project. One in Taiwan Institute of Chemical Engineers on removal of orthocresol using Bacillus cereus and CTAB as surfactant. And we have the second another publication in Clean Soil Air Water Wiley publications, where we have published our phenolic compounds on Micrococcus lylae using again CTAB. And this is our third paper on cellular and molecular biology, abstraction of phenol onto Pseudomonas putida using CTAB. Here we have completely used the RSM technology for the abstraction. That is completely elaborately explained in this paper. So we also have our publication in an international conference which got best paper award. I'm very happy to share about it. So these are some of the research activities going on foam separation and Biosofty foam separation in our laboratory. Thank you so much. So there are a few other works going on in our laboratory on nanomaterials. We have done extensive research on nanomaterials also, and we have applications for dye removal using nanomaterials. Though nanomaterials finds application in different other purposes like in health applications as well as in electromagnetic applications, semiconductors. So different such applications are there. Based upon this department of the students, we carry out different works. But the synthesis part of the nano material is through chemical method as well as through the biological method. That work is also being carried out in our laboratory. Apart from that, we have now initiated our work on microbes used for microbial biodegradation of plastics, microplastics. Okay, so these are some of the works which are going on in our laboratory. Those who are interested can have a further discussion with us. With this, I close my presentation. So I would like to say a few words about the test and the feedback session, which is going to be there in the afternoon. There is no formal validatory function planned for this afternoon. Participants, you are here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, please.
Just okay. So I'd like to say a few words about our test in the afternoon. I'll be sharing the slides, my slides also to your mail today. Your questions will be asked. I thank our Professor Rangasamy for preparing the questions, and I also say that there will be 50 questions of multiple choice type. You will be given a Google form link through which you have to answer the questions and submit us before some 6 o'clock today. considering the net issues also, I extend the time to up to 6 o'clock. You can submit it. So once you submit the feedback, and I will be putting attendance for all the people who have attended the session, and also only when we submit all these things, your certificate will be generated. Okay, participants.
Ma'am, is there any separate feedback form, ma'am?
Yes, feedback you have to submit through the Atal portal.
Okay, ma'am. Not through the.
Maybe in the afternoon session, you can give your feedback.
Excuse me, ma'am. At what time the Google form would be shared with us, ma'am?
By 2:30, we'll share with you.
Ma'am, through WhatsApp group, ma'am?
Through WhatsApp group as well as to your mail, we will send.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
of you please assemble by 2:30. Some of you are absent now. I get only 117 participants, including myself and coordinators. All of you, please be here by 2:30.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Madam, I'm Sunil Kumar from Coimbatore, madam.
Okay.
Is there any minimum mark we have to get the certificate?
Yes, you as per AICTE norms, you need to get 60%. 60% marks to get the award, to get a certificate.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for your.
Please join with us by 2:30 with the same link.
Okay.
Madam, feedback form and madam.
Yes.
The feedback form and the test both needs to be submitted by 6 o'clock.
The feedback form you submit before. Once you submit the feedback form, only you will be getting the certificate. Otherwise, you will not. Anytime you can submit.
Ma'am, at which time the feedback link will be open, ma'am?
Is it not open now?
No, ma'am.
You please check the Atal portal.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. We will check.
Otherwise, after completion of this session, today's afternoon session, we can clarify. I can contact with the AICTE officials also. If you have any problems, we can straight away talk with them. There is no problem. We can sort out any issues for you. There is no problem. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
We can leave now, madam, right?
Yeah, please leave. If there are any questions or queries, you can also have discuss about our session as well as for.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Your name?
Dr. Shukal Pade from Dr. B.C. Roy Engineering College, Durgapur, West Bengal.
Yes, madam. Please tell, madam.
You give the link within 2:30.
No. By 2:30 we'll start this. We'll start.
Oh, and when we get our Google Form link?
By once we start the afternoon session, we'll give some introduction and we'll give some instructions also. After that, I'll share the link, madam.
And how long? What is the time within we have to have this Google Form?
Madam, your voice is not clear. As far as my understanding, you're asking up to what time you can submit the form, is it?
Yes.
Maybe some people may be having some net issues, so I expect, including all those problems, I expect the participants to submit all the the test Google forms, filled in Google forms before 6 o'clock.
Oh, within 6 o'clock we have to submit it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, now whatever the feedback, the link is active or what, ma'am, in the Atal portal?
I'll check, sir. You can also check over there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Arulmozhi, ma'am.
Yes, may I know who is speaking?
Ma'am. Arulmozhi, ma'am.
Yeah, please, madam, please speak.
கேக்குதா மேம்?
கேக்குது மேடம், சொல்லுங்க மேடம்.
நான் ஆக்சுவலா மேம் ஐ வில் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் மை செல்ஃப் மேம். நான் ஜோஷுவா அமர்நாத் ஃப்ரம் கெமிக்கல் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட், சத்யபாமா யூனிவர்சிட்டி.
ஓ, வெரி குட் மேடம்.
ஆக்சுவலா என் வாய்ஸ் வந்து அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குங்க. நான் மேடம் கிடையாது, நான் டாக்டர் மிஸ்டர்.
ஓ, ஓகே.
தட்ஸ் நாட் அ ப்ராப்ளம் மேம். மேம் இப்போ ஆக்சுவலா மார்னிங் 8:30 to 1 o'clock வரைக்கும் ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸ் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கேன். சைட் பை சைடு கேட்டுட்டு தான் இருக்கேன். நீங்க 2:30க்கு क्वेश्चन பேப்பர் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நீங்க 2 hours டைம் கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க.
ஆமா.
இப்போ 2:30, 3:30, 4:30 மேம் நான் டிரான்சிட்ல இருப்பேன். ஒரு half an hour லேட் ஆச்சுன்னா நீங்க ஏத்துக்க மாட்டீங்களா மேம்?
அதெல்லாம் கன்சிடர் பண்ணி தான் மேடம் 6 o'clock வரைக்கும் கொடுத்திருக்கோம்.
ஓ, 6 o'clock வரைக்கும் கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க.
அதையும் கன்சிடர் பண்ணி தான் சார் கொடுத்திருக்கோம் 6 o'clock வரைக்கும்.
ஓகே மேம். ஓகே, நான் 2:30 நீங்க ஓபன் பண்ண போது 2 hours நேத்து சொன்ன மாதிரி எனக்கு ஞாபகம்.
ஆமா. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் ரெக்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க இந்த மாதிரி நெட் இஷ்யூஸ் இருக்குன்னு. அதனால தான் வந்து ஓகே let us extend it up to 6 o'clock ன்னு பார்த்தேன்.
ஓகே மேம், thank you so much மேம். அப்புறம் மேம் அப்ப 2:30 நீங்க வந்து क्वेश्चन பேப்பர் ரீட் பண்ண போறீங்க. ஃபீட்பேக் வந்து நான் போர்ட்டல்ல போய் கொடுக்கணும்.
ஆமா,
அவ்வளவுதான் மேம். அப்புறம் ஆன்சர் வந்து மேம் எப்படி வந்து திருப்பி அனுப்புறது உங்களுக்கு?
எங்களுக்கு நீங்க அதுவே ஃபில் பண்ண எங்களுக்கு வந்துரும் சார்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே மேம். ஓகே, thank you so much மேம். Have a nice day ma'am. Thank you for good
சார், நீங்க லிங்க் கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு அதை சப்மிட் கொடுத்தீங்கனாலே எங்களுக்கு ரீச் ஆயிடும்.
ஆமா.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே
குமரகுரு சார்.
ஓகே,
எஸ் மேம்.
மத்தியானம் 2:30 க்கு ஷேர் பண்ணிடுவோம் சார் நம்ம.
2:30 ஷேர் பண்ணிடலாம் மேடம்.
ஆமா சார்.
ஓகே, thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, the feedback link is active in the Atal portal.
Link is active, sir?
Yeah, it is active.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
All of you please.
Guru sir, close பண்ணிப்போமா சார்?
ஓகே மேடம், க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Okay.